Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. I'm really happy that someone heard what I said and did what I hoped, which is make a request. And it's a good one. And it was to speak on attachment and, of course, letting go of attachment. And I'm really glad to talk about it because almost every time that this has come up between me and someone I'm working with, the first impression that people bring with them into the struggle of it is something mental and something rigorous and something difficult, and then and often seemingly impossible. And there's so much in it about restraint and control and trying to somehow harden through escaping or escaping through hardening. And I deeply believe that this is a mistake that we just kind of stumble into on our way through. And so I wanted to suggest that something in the mode of the universal compassion that we learn about from Buddhists is the right way to do this. Or I should say, a way that could produce results and wouldn't be so hard. And as with almost everything that happens, having a body in this place, it's our ability to be intimately connected with the feeling level, with our feelings about what's happening for us, that gives us the way through and gives us the release. And it's so easy to skip this, especially if we have this idea that it will be more evolved for me to let go of what I can't have or what I wanted or what I lost. And it is true that we'll acquire wisdom and happiness and goodness for ourselves and others if we do go through it. It isn't because there's something wrong with us. We're just on a journey to this path of authenticity with our feelings and accepting of them. I can report that this gets easier with practice. Like the more times that we do it, the better we get. A few really, really quality moments of deep honesty with ourselves in which we feel our sorrow, feel our disappointment, feel our loss, or experience our grievings. It doesn't produce a result really well. We have to actually go through this period of what I call inner authenticity. But that's just the first part. There has to be this decision that I really need to face how lost or bent out of shape I am about this. And then let myself be free to have an unedited conversation with myself where I really talk it out, what it's really like for me, what I've lost. It's in this conversation that it's only through this real conversation that something can happen. So we can't beat ourselves up about it or think we should be doing better. We'll be released once we can really hear ourselves tell the story of what we thought was going to happen, how beautiful we thought it was, how invested we were. And this can be a job, a career, or a person, a condition of health. It doesn't matter what it is. The sorrow for loss is the sorrow for loss. And I haven't seen anybody be able to skip through the grieving process on anything. We just have to experience itself honestly, and maybe we're going to have to cry it out a few times within ourselves, so that we can be free and we can be let whatever it was or whoever it was we were attached to be free. I a long time ago fell for someone very hard and deeply, and it didn't work out, and the other person couldn't continue, and so I got to get left. And it wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't what I believed in. It's not what I believed was true. It's not what I believed how it was supposed to be. It's not what I thought was best. There was a whole vision of this that was in my head. But I had some guidance. And it was the principle that it wasn't possible that I really loved somebody unless I wanted their happiness enough to let them go, for them to be free and do what they wanted. And she told me she wanted something else, and I realized that that it wasn't until I couldn't say that I loved this person unless their happiness was the most important thing in the world to me, for them. The most important thing for me, for them. There's no way that I could call that love unless I wanted them to be happy, and that meant for them to be free, and that meant for them to go elsewhere. It was going through this conversation with myself that enabled me to really identify what attachment was made of in me, and that it was attachment and romance or hopes or all kinds of things can take the place of love, a belief that something is supposed to be a certain way, or I just want it a certain way. Sooner or later, this is what will destroy us. And the second noble truth of the Buddha is all about this phenomenon relative to every object in our existence and all the other people. There's a way of experiencing life that isn't leveraged on attachment and possession or control or prediction. It's not based on having. An experience in the present doesn't need those. We can have a beautiful 5 minutes, a beautiful 5 days, a beautiful 5 hours, a beautiful 5 years, or a lot longer. And those things aren't made more beautiful by a fantasy of their permanence, or my worthiness of the permanence, or any other thought. So the doorway to non-attachment is actually compassion for ourselves. It's compassion for the feelings. It's acknowledging the workings of what the attachment is doing to ourselves, and through an error, how selfish it is, and how it isn't our maturity and our wisdom or our empathy for others. We have to sort these things out. So I really think the first step on the journey is to find out what my attachment, my inability to let go, my haunting memories, my longing, my wanting to get it back, my wanting to preserve it, my wanting to have it forever. I'll be able to have some feelings about myself and some wisdom. I'll be able to actually understand what the whole thing is made out of if I allow my feelings to be felt and let them speak to me and let them tell their story. And it will reveal itself to me if that's what I want. If I really want to be happy, and I'm willing to accept that I don't have to have what I lost in order to be happy. This is not a small thing. It can be excruciatingly transformative. There are people who will be married for 50 years before they lose that part of their entire existence on Earth. grief will be a process. But I would say the most effective thing to do is to go all in and let it do its process. To go through the emotions and the feelings and the thoughts until they've played out. And I will see that they're not helping me. And they aren't helping anybody else. There is another way. And it may take some time. But time being spent loving and compassionate to ourselves or anybody else is not a waste of time. I also believe that if we go through this with ourselves and get ourselves all the way through to the letting go part, we'll be able to do this for others. And that can be the most beautiful gift in the world. Our compassion for ourselves and others can take the place of the wreckage that loss, having not fully grieved, an attachment does to us. So that's a pretty big directive on a big topic. But I hope it's specific enough and general enough to be useful to everybody. Please comment if you'd like us to do more on this. This is a really useful, worthwhile discussion for us to have indefinitely, with as many as are drawn in. I belong to you guys now. I need to be of service. It's how I live, and so I hope you'll ask me. I'll make a video about all that later. Thanks so much, guys. Peace and love. See you soon.